Hi BookTube! My name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. Today I'm coming to you with a daily reading update. So, I am doing good. Happy Sunday, everybody. It is the 24th. Did I say it's the 24th of March? It's about 8 o'clock at night and I finished dinner. We did our groceries today. We did some other running around today. Had a delicious dinner of spaghetti and meatballs. Oh, that was so good. I made my lunch for tomorrow. Now I get to relax for the rest of the night. So even though it's one of those days where I feel like I've done nothing and I have done like everything. So like I said, grocery shopping, we did go to the library, or I did go to the library. I do have a few books I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, and then I've just pretty much been relaxing any other point in the day. I've done a bit of reading today. Not a ton, not as much as I'd like to, but I've done some. But it's only 8 o'clock, good 2 or 3 hours before I'm going to bed. So I will get some more reading done before I go to bed. And I see that Steve Donahue posted a video with my name splashed all over it. And I watched the very, very beginning few seconds of it. And I think the first thing he said was that this was going to embarrass me. And if it's what and I think it is. Thank you in advance, Steve. I appreciate it. I haven't watched the video yet, but I'm going to thank you in advance anyway. So, so that's really about it. I meant to tell you guys the other day, about kind of my little health update that I think I skipped over it or I just didn't get to it. I can't remember. So basically when I left you guys last, when I did my health update, was that she's really pleased with how I'm doing, cardiac wise, like with my heart and stuff like that, that she thanks my doctor, and she is being my doctor, she being my doctor, excuse me, doesn't think that if things progress the way they are, knock on wood, that I could go another couple years, 2 or 3 years before I have to go on the heart transplant list, which is fantastic. But the concern is right now is my kidneys, because of the fact I'm on these water pills. I believe, is it Lipitor, or is that for your cholesterol? It sounds similar to, I don't think that's Lasix. That's what I'm on. Okay. I always get the two of them confused for some reason. Because I remember saying to somebody else, I'm like, yeah, I'm on Lipitor. They're like, your cholesterol? I'm like, no. So anyway, because I'm on those and I was on a bit of a high dose, that's what got down all of my, my bloating. It's kind of messed up my kidneys. My kidneys are getting dehydrated, and I guess that there's an issue with that, obviously. So they have backed off a bit on the medication. And now we're going to test to see, where we're at. And that number has gone down, which is great. That's where you want it to go, is down. So she's very happy. It was less than a week and the numbers have already gone down. So she's having me get blood work again on, the Monday after Easter. And then she'll call me the next day and we'll see where we're at then. She wants me to drink more water. So I'm making sure to do that. Really, really trying to make sure I get my water in every day. I bought myself this cup from Starbucks for my birthday with a gift card that my mom gave me. And I'm supposed to drink 2 of these a day, plus my usual cup of tea in the morning. So that, she said that's about 2 liters when I explained to her what I was drinking and how many milliliters and stuff. And she was like, that's about 2 liters. She goes, I'm pretty happy with that. And that's where she wants me, the amount, because she said, if you don't drink enough water, enough liquids, that your kidneys can get dehydrated as well, right? So, it's kind of a big balancing act. So anyway, that's the health stuff. I just want to give you guys the update that's on the good front. She wants me to be very careful and very vigilant, watching my weight, watching what I eat, not a lot of salt, for obvious reasons. And I'm being really good. I'm eating a lot more fresh fruits and vegetables, and I'm being a lot more conscientious. I'm not just throwing together a quick lunch of a peanut butter sandwich and, some cookies and whatever, which is exactly how I used to eat. But now I'm taking the time to make a sandwich and put fruit together and, eating stuff that's a bit more healthy, but still stuff that's delicious. It's just, it takes more time to make because it's a bit more healthy, and that's fine. So yeah. So anyway, the other thing that I did today, before I get into, what I'm actually reading, is that I did go to the library, and it was so funny. Sorry, I got to reach here. It was so funny because, I got there and Garrett waited in the car because I did have a couple books I wanted to take back. And I'm like, I'm just going to wander around inside for a minute. And he's in the passenger seat because he doesn't drive. For those of you who don't know that, he doesn't drive. I do. He doesn't have a license. he's in the passenger seat, and he like pulled the handle to like lean the seat back. He's like, and he closes his eyes like, I'll be having a nap. Wake me when you get back, he says. So off I go into the library. I was only in there for about 10 minutes or so. But it was so funny because I ran into my brother of all the places. Our town is small, but it's not that small. But he was there with my niece and nephew, and my nephew had taken out some books, and he was very excited. So that's adorable. You can tell that I'm from a family of readers when you run into your sibling at the library. So I took back my books and I took out a couple other ones, and I'm going to talk about my reading plans in just a second too. But I thought I would show you guys the books that I took out. So this was on like the new release area. This came out last November. And I think it's the first in the series. Yes, it is the first in the series. The Talk of Coyote Canyon by Brenda Novak. It's the Coyote Canyon series. There's only 3 books. Pardon me, I've got the hiccups. So I got this one. It's a nice hardcover. I do love reading a hardcover. And there's something about that sound, that crinkly sound of this, like, over top of the library book that's just so, like, when you crack it open, like, I love that sound so much. That just brings joy to me. So I love the library so much. It's so nostalgic. So, I mean, like, not like they've been gone forever. But, you know, when you start amassing your own collection of books as an adult, you know, sometimes you stop going to the library, and it's just delightful. Yeah, you know, I love that. And then the other 2 books I got this one. I've read the first in the series, but it's been a little while. But I wanted to jump into book number 2. And this is The Bluebird Bakery by Lee Tobin McLean. This is the second book, I believe, in the Hometown Brothers series. How delightful is that cover? Now, there is white stuff on that cover, and we're trying to get away from the white stuff now, that snow, but whatever, it's fine. And it says a lot of her books take place in the Chesapeake Bay area, so I'm excited to get to this one. Yeah, about a bakery owner. How can you not love that? It's delightful. And then I saw this book. I've never heard of this author before, but the cover jumped out at me, and I thought, oh, that looks cute. And I haven't read a historical romance in a long time. So we have Say Yes to the Princess, which is, I believe, The Hidden Royals, book number 1. And this is by Chandris Michaels. That's the author right there. Chandris, C-H-A-R-I-S. Charis maybe? Michaels? But yeah, looks really good. It says, prepare to be seduced by the first book in USA Today's best-selling author, delicious new Hidden Royals series, in which a princess in exile searches for her lost brother and falls for the man sent to thwart her. Sounds good. So I saw it and I thought, why not? We'll give a historical romance novel a try. So what I've kind of been thinking about, because I have all these physical books that I've taken out of the library, plus I have digital books and, you know, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, I'm really loving reading off of both of those, that I've decided that I'm going to have one on the go of each. So I now have like I have 5 physical books, including the one I'm reading, currently in like my mini TBR. And then I have 4 plus 1 of my digital books that I'm reading. So the 5, you know, including the one that I'm currently reading, in my next 5 ebook TBR, if that makes any kind of sense at all. So when I finish the stack, like, you know, these 5 print books that I have, when I finish those, or I get close to, like, if I'm on the last book, then I'll pick the next 5, and then I will do a video for that for you guys. Same with the ebooks. When I get to the last ebook, I'll pick my next 5 ebooks, and then I will sit down and share that with you guys. So that's kind of my game plan. So it's kind of like 10 books on a TBR, which just seems like a lot. But again, I am reserving the right to being like, by the time I get to these books, it's like, do I still want to read it? If not, no. Okay. If it's a library book, we take it back to the library. If it is off my own shelf, it goes back on my shelf. No harm, no foul. It's all good. So what am I currently reading? Same as yesterday. To be perfectly frank, I am now about 30% of the way through The Catch by Amy Lea, and I am very much enjoying this one. I had to kind of have, like, not a giggle, but so our female lead is actually from Boston, and she's visiting Nova Scotia, Canada. And I talked about this book yesterday and kind of the plot. And in the little bit that I've just read, she went on a whale watching excursion, and she almost fell overboard. And the guy saved her, but then he fell overboard. So then the Coast Guard ends up taking them to the hospital. And while he's there, he's kind of unconscious because, he got a concussion. And she's like, hey, do you need me to fill out any insurance forms? And they're like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh yeah, I'm in Canada. Healthcare is free. And I thought that would be kind of jarring, I guess, to somebody who's used to doing forms and this and that and the other thing. And the whole thing is that in order for her to get back to see him, she lied. And she said that she was his fiance. And she fell asleep in the hospital room while he was like recovering. And he hadn't woken up yet. And she woke up and his whole family is there. And I guess the doctors and nurses said, oh, that's your son's fiance. And they're like, you didn't tell us you were married or getting married. So I guess it's going to be one of those situations where, we shall see where it goes. But I am still very, very much enjoying this one. And then I did decide to pick up today. I've only read one chapter of it. So my physical read is The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. Again, this is a reread for me. Reading the first chapter, I'm like, yes, I remember this book. It's very fantastical. So very whimsical. So it takes place like in Regency London, in Mayfair, but it is like an alternate reality almost. That's the only way I can describe. You need to suspend your disbelief for this one. It is, what do they call it? Fantasy romance? There's a name for it now. I cannot think of what it is. Romantasy? Is that what they're calling it? But I would call this historical romantasy. So, in other words, there are pirates and the houses fly and, the book starts off and in the very first chapter, there's a knock at the door and there's this man there. And the girl answers and she's like, no, I'm not, he's trying to give her a pamphlet for something. She's like, I'm not interested. And then she leaves and she goes back to talk to her aunt that she's, living with the aunt and whatever. And the aunt's like, who was at the door? And she's like, oh, just a pirate. And then as they're in the drawing room having tea, he breaks in. He's like, oh, I thought this was going to be a bedroom. They're like, we don't sleep on the first floor. Like, it was all very commonplace. And he's like, oh, someone's trying to assassinate you. And they're like, oh, pish-tosh kind of an idea. Very, very odd. Just from my description, I'm sure you're like, that sounds weird. But, I don't know. And I read it years ago on audio and I enjoyed it, but I am really looking forward to giving it a reread, seeing exactly what I think about it. So yeah, so those are what I'm reading right now. And last but not least, I didn't mean to show this to you guys a little bit ago. Sorry, this video is going longer than I anticipated. I thought I'm going to sit down, tell you what I'm reading and be done with it. And here we are 13 minutes later. I did buy some book sleeves. So I do follow Maple Leaf Stitching on Instagram. She is a Canadian book sleeve maker and I love her stuff. And every now and then she puts stuff up that's like only on Instagram where it's like she's trying to get rid of stock. And she's like, okay, you can get each one of these for $15 and, shipping included kind of an idea. So I said, do you still have these too? And she's like, yes, because she puts up all the pictures. I'm like, I want these two. She's like, no problem. So she mailed them to me. So I got some more Christmas ones because I love Christmas book sleeves. I haven't even taken them out of the packaging yet. So I'm just going to show them to you guys. So sorry for the glare, but yes, cats, all Christmassy. You guys know me. And yeah, Maple Leaf Stitching. So there she is. So look her up if you're in Canada or in the US. I don't know how much it cost for her to ship to the US, and then I got this one. Again, delightful. Cats in sweaters and scarves. It's Christmassy. I think they're so, so cute. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that is it. I'm going to let you go. Tomorrow is Monday. It's only a 4-day work week because, of course, Good Friday is on Friday, but it's going to be a long week because it is month end. So if I miss a day or two of this next week, you will know why. I'm going to do my best to sit down and talk to you guys, but no promises. And yeah. Until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Oh, before I go, tomorrow starts the page count reading challenge, everybody. So best of luck. I will talk to you later. Bye.